Imagine you walk into a room with 7 strangers. Someone holds up 2 cards, one with a single line, the other with 3 lines of different lengths. You just have to say which line matches. It's obvious, a child could do it. But then, one by one, every person in the room confidently picks the wrong answer, and now it's your turn. You know the answer, you can see it, but something inside you hesitates, and more often than you'd expect, you go along with the group. You pick the wrong line, on purpose. This isn't a riddle, it's one of the most famous experiments in psychology, and it reveals something unsettling about how your brain works. You are far less independent than you think. Let's talk about why you copy strangers, where this instinct came from, and how the modern world has turned it into a weapon. Long before humans had language or tools, we had each other. And in the unforgiving world of early survival, the group was everything. If your tribe ran, you ran. If they avoided a berry, you avoided it. If they crossed a river at a specific point, you followed. You didn't need to understand why, you just needed to not die. This is social learning, and it gave our ancestors a massive advantage. Instead of testing every food, every path, every predator for yourself, which could easily kill you, you borrowed the results of everyone else's experiments. Over millions of years, evolution baked this deep into our wiring. Following the crowd wasn't weakness, it was one of the most successful survival strategies in the history of life. But here's the thing, those instincts didn't stay in the savannah. They followed us into the modern world, where the stakes are very different, but the machinery is exactly the same. In 1951, psychologist Solomon Asch ran the line experiment we described at the start. The setup was deceptively simple. 1 real participant, 7 actors pretending to be participants, and a task so easy it should have been boring. But when the actors unanimously chose the obviously wrong answer, 75% of real participants went along with the group at least once. Some did it over and over again. When asked why, many said they knew the group was wrong. They just didn't want to be the odd one out. That's called normative conformity. You go along not because you believe the group, but because being different feels dangerous. Others, though, said something more interesting. They started to genuinely doubt their own eyes. The group's confidence made them wonder if maybe they were the ones who couldn't see straight. That's informational conformity. And it gets worse. Before Asch, a Turkish-American psychologist named Muzafer Sherif discovered something even more disturbing. In 1935, he put people in a dark room and asked them to judge how far a tiny dot of light moved. The light wasn't actually moving at all. It was a visual illusion. Alone, people gave wildly different answers. But in groups, their estimates silently drifted together until they agreed on a number. A made-up number about a thing that wasn't happening. And here's the kicker. When brought back alone a week later, they stuck with the group's answer. They had absorbed it, made it their own. And when asked if others had influenced them, most denied it. You don't just follow the crowd, you become the crowd, and forget it happened. If conformity were just a social nicety, a thing you do to be polite, that would be one thing. But neuroscience has shown it goes much deeper than that. When researchers put people in brain scanners and had them disagree with a group, something remarkable happened. The areas of the brain that lit up weren't the regions for social decision-making. They were the regions for error detection, the same circuits that activate when you get an answer wrong on a test. Your brain literally processes "I disagree with everyone" the same way it processes "I made a mistake." And it gets stranger. In one study, when people conformed to a group's incorrect answer, the activity changed, not just in decision-making areas, but in the visual cortex, the part of the brain that processes what you actually see. Social pressure wasn't just changing minds, it was changing perception. The group didn't convince these people they were wrong. It made them see differently. Meanwhile, agreeing with the group activates reward centers, the same circuitry that responds to food, money, and social bonding. Going along feels good. Standing apart feels like an error. Your brain is running ancient software that rewards conformity with a little hit of neurochemical approval. No wonder it's so hard to resist. For most of human history, your group was maybe 150 people. You could look around, count heads, and know what the tribe thought. But today, your group is everyone, and the signals of social proof are everywhere, engineered to be impossible to ignore. When you see a product with 4,000 five-star reviews, that's social proof. When a show has a laugh track, that's social proof. Studies show you're significantly more likely to laugh at a joke if you hear others laughing, even if you know the laughter is fake. When a restaurant has a line out the door, when a video has 10 million views, when a tweet has 50,000 likes, every single one of these is your ancient conformity wiring being activated. Robert Cialdini, the psychologist who coined the term social proof in 1984, demonstrated this with a beautifully simple experiment. He put signs in hotel bathrooms asking guests to reuse their towels. The standard environmental message had modest results. But when the sign said 75% of guests in this room reuse their towels, compliance jumped 26%. People didn't care about the environment argument. They cared about what other people were doing. And now social media algorithms have automated this at a scale our brains were never designed for. Likes, shares, trending tags, view counts. These are industrial-strength conformity signals pumped directly into a brain that evolved to follow 50 people across a grassland. The algorithm doesn't just show you what's popular, it makes popular things more popular, creating feedback loops that can turn a random video into a global phenomenon, or a fringe opinion into an apparent consensus. You scroll through a feed that feels like personal choice, but is quietly shaped by the behavior of millions of strangers. So what do you do with this information? You can't uninstall the software. Conformity is part of what makes you human. It's how culture spreads, how cooperation works, how societies hold together. Without it, we'd still be individual apes making every mistake from scratch. But awareness matters. The next time you feel certain about something, a product, a trend, a political opinion, it's worth asking, do I actually believe this, or did I absorb it? Am I thinking, or am I following? Because the most powerful thing about social proof is that it's invisible. It works best when you don't notice it. The experiment at the start of this video, the one where people picked the obviously wrong line, the scariest part wasn't that people conformed. It was that afterward, most of them had no idea they'd done it. The crowd is inside you. It always has been. The question is whether you'll notice it the next time it speaks.